Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Limitless Podcast, where we dive deep into mindset shifts that unlock true freedom and success. This is episode 207. And today we're going to talk about how the body keeps the score. I don't know if you've ever read that book. I read this book years and years ago and really became to understand how we hold our emotions in our body. Today, I'm going to give you a very personal message of how that is so true. When I became a coach, when I studied spiritual psychology, really understanding how to change the mind is the avenue for our reality. Everything that we think about, we bring about into our reality. And did a lot of mind work. And I love it, obviously, because that's what I do. I love working with the mind. I absolutely love working with our thoughts. I enjoy so much helping women uncover those beliefs that do not serve them and help them change them to the truth that is already in you, not that you have to become anything different. That truth lies within you. So mindset work is absolutely key for what I do and what I love to do so much. But there's another piece of that that is so invaluable that I think is missing in the field of healing, missing in the field of coaching. And that is healing the body, healing the heart as well. And that's what I focus on in my programs. And I'm going to show you from a personal experience how that is so transformational for you. I don't know if you have even begun the journey of mindset work, like true mindset work. I'm not talking about reading books and affirmations. I'm talking about diving into what is actually running the show through your subconscious mind. Don't know if you have begun to dive into that. I will tell you, it is the single most important thing that you can do for yourself because it impacts every relationship in your life. And I'm not just talking about relationships with people. I'm talking about relationship with money, relationship with your business. If you're not getting the results in any area of your life, it's because there's subconscious programming. And my friend, I'm going to tell you, nobody's immune to it. We all have that. And in this lifetime, that is why you're here. You are here to understand who you are, not the stories that are playing in your subconscious mind. So it is truly invaluable. So let's take a look at this. If you haven't really started that journey of diving into the subconscious mind, I'm going to explain a little bit of why that is so important. Obviously, your mind runs the show. But on a deeper level, most of us, when we were children, our emotional intelligence, the way that we express our emotions or do not express our emotions, were 100%. They were taught to us by our parents. So we saw the way that they were able to manage their emotions. So at any given time, when we were experiencing an emotion, some sadness, some upset, some hunger, maybe, or just being overstimulated, depending on the emotional intelligence of our parent that was caring for us at that time, we either felt, seen, heard, and safe, or we learned to stuff those emotions. And where do we stuff those emotions? They have to go somewhere, and they go into our body. So I don't know if you are one that expresses their emotions on a regular basis, or if you are one who stuffs your emotions on a regular basis. But most of us have learned at some point to stuff those down. Where do they go? They go into your body. And when they go into your body over time, it starts to play out. You will have pain somewhere. You will have gut symptoms. You will have constipation. You will have shoulder pain and a plethora of other things. So it's very imperative that you learn not just to heal the mind of the stories, but to heal the body of the stored emotions. It is imperative to do that work. And then also to follow up with healing the heart through lots of different modalities. I'm focusing mainly on healing the body today. So this past week, I think it was this past week or a couple of weeks ago, we had a major lunar eclipse. And I am super, super sensitive as I have released so much of those stories that are playing around in my head. I'm super sensitive to energy. Super, super sensitive. I'm aware of it. Why am I aware of it? Because I don't have so many of those stories that are playing around in my head. I'm super aware of my body. I'm super aware of energy around me. I've always had that, whether it's a gift or a curse. I'm not quite sure. But I've always had that, but it's heightened so much since I've healed so many of those stories within me. And so when this lunar eclipse came around, I wasn't really paying attention to, where it was or when it was or anything like that. But what I did realize is I was not functioning well. Like my energy was drained, completely drained. I was exhausted, completely exhausted. And I had a little bit of an emotional swing. Didn't want to really put myself out there on social media. So I knew there was something that was going on. And during this time, I was working through a particular incident in my life, a 12-year-old version of Deanna. And something came up for me, that 12-year-old version. And the story that came up for me was at that particular time, I recognized that I decided that I have to do it all on my own. I have to do it all on my own because the 12-year-old version of me basically was put in that situation. And so I became very, very self-sufficient, which is one of my greatest gifts, but it can also be something that is super harmful for me as well. So our gift can actually be something that hurts us as well. But I'm super self-sufficient. And it was playing out in my life because Mark and I were having an experience with something. And it literally was like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. I literally felt it in my shoulders. And I have had neck and shoulder pain. I remember when I was in medicine, and I thought it was because of the stethoscope that I wore on my neck all day. So that was, 30 years ago at least when I experienced that. And I've been carrying that with me since that time. So that was the time, those were the times that I actually remember it starting, that pain in my neck. And there are times when that neck pain is quite severe. And I really think, that it was due to me sitting in the computer, being on my phone, sitting at my desk all the time. So because I do what I do today, I sit at my desk a lot more than what I used to in my past careers. And so I was really having some significant pain. And during those particular times, like I'm not even able to wear a bra. I can't wear a sports bra. I don't like anything on my shoulders. And I'm putting this amazing different, lotions on my neck to just relax it and release it. And there is no give. And I do get a massage on a regular basis. So this story came up that particular week, right before the eclipse. And I started looking on social media and saw that the eclipse was coming. It's a lunar eclipse and wow, it's powerful and all this. And so I thought, oh, okay, this is totally, completely making sense. And so I started working through that story of the 12-year-old version of me and recognized, man, I feel like, and I have felt since I was 12 years old, that I have to carry everything on my own. And what that means to me is most of the time I don't reach out for help and I do just take responsibility for everything. And I see that pattern in my life over and over and over constantly, because that's the story that I believe about myself. So I started working through this particular story and, through the mindset tools that I use, et cetera. And so just shifting that. And after I shifted that little story, the next day I felt extremely exhausted. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do some breath work. I'm going to do some breath work and I am going to release this because my energy is low. Something is still stagnant in my body. This is what I want you to understand that is so invaluable. When you become so in tune to your body and understand that, we are energetic beings. We are energetic beings. Everything that we do is wrapped around energy. And there are certain things that situations that you can put yourself in that drag your energy down. And there are certain things that you can do that bring you energy. Emotions are one of those things. And if you are carrying low level emotions like fear, anxiety, depression, that can drag your energy down. Okay. And so that's where I was. So I knew, okay, there's something that is stagnant here. This particular breathwork session was, I think it was a 90-minute session. And I began the session with, starting the breathwork session, and was super relaxed, ready to dive into this. And I was about 3 minutes in. I don't know that for sure because I wasn't timing myself. I had something covering over my eyes, but I was just listening and I was breathing. Within 3 minutes of that breathwork session, I began to cry. Like, I have not cried like that, I think, since probably my high school boyfriend broke up with me when I was 18 or 19. Like, literally, I have not cried like that. And you know how that feels, that deep heartbreak. And that crying was so intense. I had my knees up, I had my arms around myself, and it was a deep cry, just continuing. The tears were just flowing. And there were times when it was like literally from the depths of my soul, I was crying from the depths of my soul. And that continued until the end of the breath work. So I cried so hard for 90 minutes. I want you to understand and hear that. How long has it been since you've released any kind of emotion for 90 minutes? Me either. Me either. That has not happened. I've released a lot of emotion, but there was a lot of stuff that was stuck in my body from that 12-year-old version of me. And it makes me want to cry right now that I've been holding that in my body for that long. And so there are so many people, you guys, and you may be one of them. So many people are afraid to do this work because we don't want to feel that emotion. And I've heard so many women say, I haven't cried like this in years because I've always been told to stay strong. And staying strong, we wear that as a badge of honor. And my friend, that is not a badge of honor, because you are hurting yourself, you are hurting your body. And that emotion that has been stored in my body for so many years, that has come out over times in anger and frustration. And so staying strong does not do anything for you but harm you and the people that are around you, because those emotions have to come out at some point. They have to come out at some point. And what ends up happening with us is we just get numb over time because we've suppressed that, and we disconnect 100%, disconnect from our body. And remember what I said to you from the very beginning, I'm so in tune to my body. I'm so in tune to the foods that I eat, what serves me and what doesn't. I'm so in tune to walking into a situation and knowing if this is an energy that I want to stay with or if it's an energy that I need to walk away from. I'm so in tune to knowing that something was coming up in that lunar eclipse. Everybody was saying that energy is crazy, emotions are coming up, deal with your trauma, etc. It's so true. It is true. I've seen it time and time again when I was in medicine with a full moon. People act crazy. But after I finished that breathwork session, I was exhausted. I really was exhausted. But I did feel so much release, so much release. And then I want to share with you another piece of this, which was so transformational. I get a massage at least twice a month. And I do it specifically for my neck. And every time I walk in there, she's like, what are we working on today? I'm like, the usual, it's my neck. And she works out the knots in my neck. And she's always saying, wow, this is crazy, Deanna. Like, I've never seen anybody's neck like this. This is so crazy. And I said, I know, I sit at my desk all day. I'm on my phone. And I've had it for years and years. So it's the same old story. So after I had my breathwork session, I actually had a massage a day later. Walked in, what are we working on, Deanna? And I said, the usual, it's my neck. So to be honest, I don't know what that frou-frou relaxation massage is, because that's not ever what I get, because we need to work out some of the knots. And we started talking, and my massage therapist has become a really good friend of mine. And we started talking, and she goes, dang, girl, what is this? This is tighter than usual. And I said, well, I have to tell you a story. And I have to tell you a story that I just did, release the story from 12-year-old version of me. I did a breathwork session. I cried for 90 minutes. And my story was, and this came out of my mouth without me even recognizing it came out of my mouth, I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. And it was in that moment that I realized, holy cow, that story that I have to do it all on my own also translates as I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. And I was literally carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. And as I began to share with her this story, because I trust her completely, I shared with her all about the story, the 12-year-old version of me, what was going on, what happened in breathwork. So we went through all of it. And she goes, you're not going to believe this, but I have never felt your neck so relaxed after this session. The body keeps the score, my friend. And I can tell you that my shoulders I have zero pain, which is very unusual for me. Zero pain right now. And I'm not saying it's not going to come back, because that little story of 12-year-old Deanna, there will be a twist at some point. There will be something else that happens in my life that's going to trigger that. But now I know exactly what it is, and I know how to deal with it. But I have no pain. The body keeps the score. Those stories that you're telling yourself are related to a past trauma where you decided a story about yourself during a highly emotional negative state. And I'm not saying trauma that was abuse, that sure is trauma. I'm saying trauma where you decided a story about yourself. And that story is playing, those emotions are stuffed, and they need to come out. It's invaluable. That is what makes my programs different, is I'm not just going to help you make money, my friend. I am not just going to help you have a bang up business or an incredible marriage. I'm going to dive into the programming that runs the show, help you heal your mind, help you heal your body, and help you heal your heart. That is true transformation. It's missing. It's missing, and it is needed. There is a surge of women right now that are rising into doing the work, because we've all been called to something higher. And if that is you, it's time to take a look. It's time to take a look. So what has happened since that time that I've had a massage? My energy is literally through the roof, absolutely through the roof. Those pains in my neck I don't feel them. I literally don't feel them. My workload hasn't changed. I still am sitting at my desk. I am still on my phone. I still do my regular exercises, my yoga. I'm on my treadmill, etc. Nothing has changed except I've worked through that story. My sleep is deeper, and I have always been a good sleeper, but it is deeper, and I wake up refreshed. Wake up refreshed. There's something to this. So the body keeps the score. Whatever it is that you're feeling in your body, is it possible that it could be related to some emotions that you've stuffed down? And it's time to work through that story and release those emotions. I'm here for you, my friend. I believe in you, and I am your biggest supporter. God bless, and I'll see you next Tuesday.